The suspected duck sauce killer accused of gunning down a Chinese food delivery man in Queens killed himself Friday ahead of a court hearing that could have landed him back behind bars. Glenn Hirsch, 51, had been out on bail when he shot himself at home ahead of a scheduled morning hearing in Queens Supreme Court, law enforcement sources told the Post. He was found dead on the couch wearing rubber gloves with the gun in his hand and the radio blaring to the point where it could be heard by cops outside the door, sources said. Hirsch had emailed his lawyers, prosecutors and others involved in the case a lengthy suicide note in which he denied murdering Zhu Yan on April 30 amid the suspect's feud with the restaurant over duck sauce. He left a long note, but essentially, he became overwhelmed by the press coverage and the media attention and the rush to vilification, and he didn't take care of his mental health, which is obviously something he needed to do, and he became depressed and suicidal, said Hirsch's lawyer, Michael Horn. Hirsch also tried to exonerate his wife, Dorothy Hirsch, after she was arrested in late June when an early morning raid turned up 8 handguns and ammunition at her home. In the letter, Glenn insisted the weapons belonged to him and that she had no knowledge of them, law enforcement sources said. During a court hearing in Dorothy's case earlier this week, her lawyer, Mark Betterow, said the guns were linked to Glenn through forensic evidence. The evidence could have brought renewed charges against Glenn and landed him back behind bars during Friday's court hearing. In Glenn's suicide note, described by sources as oddly coherent and vast in scope, he went on long tangents about other cases heard in Queens County too. The Queens man had an ongoing beef with the Great Wall restaurant in Forest Hills, where Yan worked as a delivery man. Glenn claimed the eatery shorted him on duck sauce for an order placed last year. The restaurant's owner has said Glenn repeatedly harassed him and his workers, claiming the accused killer vandalized his car and showed up at the eatery with a gun in January. Hours before Yan was gunned down, police said surveillance footage captured Hirsch circling Great Wall in his car, then tailing the delivery man to his next food drop. Yan was shot in the chest and left bleeding on the pavement. Jennifer Wu, the lawyer for Yan's kin, told the Post his family is in shock over Hirsch's suicide and that his widow doesn't even know what to say at this point. The shock relates to what a waste. To kill someone and then kill yourself. 2 lives lost. I think there is the initial shock of how do I seek justice now, but that isn't the primary concern, Wu said. The primary concern is another life is lost. It's the shock of death. She added that she only learned of his death when she was speaking with suspect's lawyer, and he referred to his client as the late Mr. Hirsch. Glenn was freed from custody June 27 after his brother paid his $500,000 bail. The next day, his wife was arrested on weapons charges, but Glenn claimed in the letter the weapons were his, and he moved them into her closet years ago after he closed a storage unit, Betterow told the Post. This is a terrible time for Dorothy. This tragedy of her husband's suicide is amplified by the fact that she is already being subjected to an unwarranted prosecution for guns, which so obviously were Glenn's, the lawyer said. As if this isn't bad enough, in Glenn's suicide letter, he detailed Dorothy's innocence. Fully aware that he was going to end his life, he was adamant that Dorothy was innocent, which we have always maintained and should be apparent to anyone who is familiar with this case. Betterow called on the Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz to drop the charges against Dorothy so she can grieve this loss without the additional stress of fighting baseless criminal charges. Katz's office didn't immediately return a request for comment about Dorothy's case, but issued a statement about Glenn's death. The loss of a human life is always tragic. Obviously, we would have preferred to try Mr. Glenn Hirsch for the calculated murder of Mr. Zhu Yan in a court of law, but this is no longer an option, Katz said. We once again express our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Zhu Yan, who continue to grieve his tragic and senseless loss.